And we are live. Welcome back to On the King's Dime. Tuesday night, the 20th of April. We've got a double win game week to talk about tonight. And then we've got, obviously, the sad news of Didi leaving us. And the season about to get a whole lot more rocky, I think. We're going to discuss that at the back end of this episode. But as always, you can like, share, and subscribe. We're on YouTube. We're live right at the moment on Facebook. You can also catch these in audio in replay on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the Anchor platform, which also goes out to Spotify. So yeah, make sure if you want to listen to us in audio, you get onto those platforms. What else do we need to plug? Anything else? Tipping. We're doing tipping still. Tipping comp's hotting up. 3-2-1. I forgot again to do 3-2-1s. Sorry about that. 2 game weeks where people are going to care and I forget again. Sorry about that. But if you're watching now, watching along, just throw a 3-2-1 in the comments right now for your best players 3, 2, and 1 in the Southeast Melbourne game and in the Taips game. I was going to say the Casper game. That kind of could have worked as well.
Yeah, that could have worked, yeah.
But yeah, we're here to talk about the first game, which is the Southeast Melbourne game on, that was on Thursday last week.
It was, yes.
And it was a 97-90 win.
I think it was a bit further apart than that. I think they just had a little nice stretch at the end. I don't think it was as close as that score kind of pertains. It was the Didi Lozada show.
Yeah, it was Didi Lozada, and you were saying in the green room, his English on point, fantastic.
I know, man. It was just like at that point, I was just like, oh, is it coming? Is it coming? It's just like Isaiah Thomas not getting renewed for a 10-day. They've just waived Will Magnay and signed some other chump. It was just like, is he going to get called up?
Yeah, so it was a bit of a foreshadow. He had a really good night. Shot the ball really well. Did all the things that we kind of had been seeing the last few weeks. Like his game started to advance a little bit. You know, obviously DJ's out, and that's been a big blow. The burden was really on the back of Didi's shoulder, on Didi's shoulders, I should say, and he had to kind of produce something if we were going to kind of get into the finals or really show some pedigree towards the finals. I think he was going to have to really come up with some good performances. 20 a night. No Jarrell the last 2 games. That's a little bit of a worry. I haven't really said much about that. I think just general knee soreness. Did you think he came back from that injury like really quick? It was like, oh, okay, he's back.
Yeah, it could be. It could be a little bit of a remnants from that. Maybe a bit of a flare up in some inflammation. Just quietly, Geordie having like 6 blocks.
Yeah.
Having a massive night.
That was so good. And then, look what happens when you don't ref him off the floor. Like, he actually has an impact.
That's exactly what I thought. Just like, Tommy V gets refed off the floor, but that's just Tommy V.
Yeah.
How good's Tommy V from the corner? It's just, it's almost a bang. It's almost like, one in the bank from the corner.
It's Tommy just like V. A little fuzzy hug. They always go to it at the end of the half as well. It's good. Tommy V just slinks out to the corner and somebody finds him. He's been knocking it down pretty well. Just it was such a good performance. It was unusual. I remember we were texting like as the game was going. We were just like, "What is this? Like we've been terrible the last couple of weeks, and then suddenly it's just like, and what was it, 42-14 run that ends this game. Thanks for coming." Like we're just like, where did this come from? This doesn't make sense.
It was just Didi 5 of 6. Some of his inside finishing was incredible as well. Geordie playing big defensive and scoring well as well. There was a couple of nice dashes to the rim from Geordie, but it was a pretty good team performance. I think Casper only had like 4 points. I mean, it was the real team performance minus Casper.
2 points.
2 points.
Yeah, 1 of 7 on the night, 1 of 2 from 2, and then 0 of 5 from 3. It was one of those Casper nights where you're just like, oh, not again.
But it was good though. You know what happened? He got cold, and he just went to the facilitation. He started diming it up, didn't go and try and gave the hot man the hand, and it was exactly what we needed. Perfect.
Yeah, so 6 assists on the night, 3 turnovers, 4 rebounds. I've noticed, on defense, he gets kind of stuck down a little bit, and we've talked about that. Just like, why are you down there defending guys that are 6'7"? What are you doing? But he's actually rebounding the ball really well, and it's kind of needed. Look, it's not ideal defensively for him to be down there, doing that defensive work, but he's been like a low-key underrated rebounding threat for us and box out guy because he's quite nuggety. Like he's not a tall man, but he's quite a nuggety, thick guy who can box out a little bit. And now to kind of fast forward a little bit, with Didi going and DJ down, we kind of needed that on the glass. And I think also it sucks the wind out of him a little bit. But like you said, I love that he just went, you know what, I'm not shooting the ball well. I'm just gonna dime it up, start finding guys.
He's probably the best 5'10" defender against a 7-footer in the league. The way he pulls the chair out from underneath him.
They love saying it too on the telecast.
They do,
pulls the chair. He's going to pull the chair. He pulled it. How good is it? How good is he at pulling the chair? And you're just like, yeah, all right. Every time he does it, there's like 4 guys chiming in about how good he is. It's hilarious.
It's fucking hilarious. It's so good.
But it sucks, man, that Didi, has this night and you just go, wow, 28 points, 8 of 11, 2 of 4 from 2, 6 of 7 from 3. Look, his 3 ball was struggling. You kind of were like, every time he shot it, you weren't sitting there going, yep, it's going down. You're kind of sitting there just going, nah, I'm not feeling it. This was a night where every time he shot the ball, it just went down. And even those ones they hit the base of the rim and they really go through hard and you just feel like, oh, that shot's on, you know what I mean? Like there's some, that sneak through the front iron and they sneak through a little bit, but he was really stroking the ball. It was going through like the twine. And a couple, I think the one to end the first quarter, he just didn't even think about it. He kind of picked it up from about ankle height, just rose up and hit it. And that's where all season or all the last 2 seasons, that's been his wheelhouse where he doesn't have to think about it. Nothing's going on. He doesn't have to kind of stop, wait for, his screener to move or something, or wait for the defense to kind of fly by or anything. He just picked it up and shot it. And that's where he kind of went, he really excels in those. I don't have to think about situations, 3-point shooting positions, but a lot of this season has been a lot of kind of pull up, walk up, the screener, like setting some jank action around him. And then he's just like, oh, shoot it. And those are the ones where he's just like, oh, nah.
Well, I think that as what we've seen is that he's probably the only true two-way player in the Kings who can shoot 6 of 7, but then can guard the best, kind of 1 through 3 on the opposition teams effectively. I mean, the way he guards Cotton is second to none in the league, I don't think. And I think that's probably why the Pelicans have said, it's time to come over and develop with the big boys. I think that they've realized that he's a two-way player. And his defense is just as good as his offense, if not better, in stretches. He can defensively impact games, which he did do in this game and the game against the Taipans as well. I mean, defensively he was so very solid. And if you're dropping consistent points regularly and also dishing it up, which he has been doing, it was just a matter of time before I think And apparently he's put on 20 odd kilos of size.
Does he look bigger?
He looks a bit bigger, yeah. He looks like he's put on a bit of weight. I suppose you do as you get a bit older.
I felt like he kind of looked a little bit smaller. Like he kind of leaned down a little bit. It was looking a bit more like that corded, not like thick. Like you look at Casper and you're like, that guy's thick, and then you look at Cotton and you don't see a small guy, but you see a guy who's lean and corded, like really lean.
Wispy.
Nah, I wouldn't say Cotton's wispy, but
I'd say Cotton's wispy.
Okay, he's wispy.
He wears $105. He's 73 kilos, man.
But
Jesus
not
Christ.
like you wouldn't look at these guys and go like a soccer player where you look at them and you're just like, those guys are like, you could just go like that and they fall over. In basketball, obviously, there's a lot more kind of body contact. You got to use your body a little bit more. I thought I was kind of like, he looks like he's losing a little bit of weight almost. And if he has kind of leaned down and put on that muscle, then it's going to help him in the NBA. Let's just talk moments. Obviously, his best moment being that Perth game where he just absolutely lit them up. I think he got I think he had 30 in that game. I should have looked at his best games, but I didn't. And then this little stretch he's been on now, I think are the two better stretches that he's been on. I think defensively he's always been at quite a 6-7 out of 10 level where it's never been at a worrying level of, oh man, his defense is looking ordinary. His offense has been in that like in and out zone where just sometimes he's like, ooh, that offense is a bit ordinary. But at the moment, like you could see he was starting to ramp up and really find his groove, which it's a blow. It's just like when you texted me, I was just like, oh man, like, why? The season just goes, ew. But as we were talking in the green room as well, which is like, how are we fourth? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, we've been very up and down, and it's just like, and we're fourth. So we could
very up and down. It's not only very up and down. we've had players out for long stretches. Kickett's been injured and then had a baby, and that's kind of disrupted his season. Cook's out for pretty much a season. Jerome Martin, in and out, knee 4 weeks. Then missing the weekend. Just quietly defensively, we look better on the floor with him not there.
Not yet.
Offensively, it's great, but
yeah,
I think that he is a 4 and 5's close. You know what I mean? Like, he's just not capable defending the 5.
I think if we had an elite center, like if you weren't kind of nursing Geordie, he'd be, defensively, you'd probably get away with it a little bit.
Geordie's one of those dudes. Like, I think in 3 or 4 years' time, he will be an elite center in this league. I really do. I think he is young enough. 26, 27. I think getting to his late 20s, he will be kind of the elite side of the 5 in the league. But we've obviously had Angus Glover, knee. He's probably gone for the season. You'd have to.
Yeah, that 4 weeks really has gone a little bit longer than 4 weeks, hasn't it?
4 weeks gone.
Did we see Kernage Drew in this game? Yeah, a little 10 minutes of Kernage Drew in this Southeast Melbourne. Put up 2 bricks, minus 12 on the night. Yeah, poor Kernage Drew.
We're going deep into.
He's gonna have to get minutes now. I think with Didi going, we're gonna see a lot more Woodhill, and Galloway, and Lockie Hutchison got a little bit of a run out too against the Phoenix.
Look, I don't mind Lockie Hutchison getting a bit of a run out. He's gonna have to, because we really don't have we don't have a backup point guard. Because Shawnee Bruce is playing the 2, Casper's playing the 1.
Shawnee's like everywhere, man.
Yeah, I mean, Shorty's been good the last couple of weeks. This weekend, I think he's less hesitant. He's just shooting the ball. All right, I missed. I'll shoot it again. So that's been good to see.
Defensively, like he is actually playing a little bit better as well. I think that's also important in that we kind of had Casper and also Didi with the length, and then Shawnee B's like obviously put on a bit of beef this season as well, and he's provided a little bit too. Like, I think if you look at what DJ's given us this season, obviously we're not going to see him for the rest of the season, but I always felt like he was, bordering on a kind of minus on defense, a guy that you had to kind of stick in lineups and hide. Not in the same vein as where Didi, like, you're comfortable with Didi in any kind of lineup. You're just like, you want to play 3 or 2, or you can even handle a little bit in those really deep garbage lineups. That's fine. So I think it's going to be important. I mean, we'll talk about it at the end of this podcast, like with what we're kind of looking at going forward to down the end of this season. If we're able to make
Casper playing 39 minutes and 30 seconds a game,
taking 26 shots a game just quietly. Like, Cotton's taking like 26 a night at the moment, and he's only 10 making 10 shots a night. So he's in a bit of a rough stretch. But yeah, no, we'll go into it sort of later. We'll do a bit of a preview of the next few games and just to talk further on Didi in general and sort of what it means to the rest of our season. But another couple of things that I wanted to bring up, just, Brad Newley and Kickett, like, quietly looking like, dude, retire. Like, that's it. I don't want to see Brad Newley drive to the hoop at all. Like, I don't want to see Brad Newley not drive to the hoop and be scared, like, get off the court, and then suddenly just burst into life in that second quarter where you were just like, whoa, sat me down, sweet. Like, they absolutely played lights out, and Newley every time he got it, he just went to the hole and he just yes, keep doing it, please. Every time I don't even care. If you get yanked off the floor, just be like, that's my game, I'll do it all the time. And you could see the Phoenix kind of got pushed back, and that was creating space for other guys. It was creating space for Kickett around the hole as well to, his little nickel and dime floater game where you were just like, ooh, oh yeah, he made it. Nice, Kickett, nice. And he's shooting the ball a little bit better. So he had 3 of 3 from 3 on the night. But yeah, Brad Newley, 7 of 10. He had 6 of 8 inside, and that's where he makes his money, man. And, if we had a functioning team, that's basically, I'd just insert Brad Newley for like 6-7 minutes and just be like, just get to the hole, get the ball, clear everyone out and get to the hole and start pushing these teams back. But obviously, talking about what's happening in this season has just been all sorts of just like, yeah, if we had a full squad, we could do this. Oh, if this guy wasn't out, we'd play like this. So it's been a bit of a disrupted season on that front. So it was good to see those two kind of spring back into life and spring back into form. And yeah, your man, Tommy V, 2 of 5, 9 points on the night. And then 3 or 4 from the free throw line, getting to the line.
That's a bit interesting. Tommy V getting to the line
And
is
they
hilarious.
ran some offense for him inside. And I'm watching it going, oh my God, Tommy inside. And then on the telecast, they were like, whoa, Tommy V running some offense for him inside. I was like, yeah, whoa. But he made the shot, though. It was pretty good.
He's got a bit of a back down game. It's
Yeah.
not great, but
It's
I
not.
think it's
It's just kind of Geordie level. So Geordie had 11
yeah.
points. He was pretty good as well. The 6 blocks, man. Let's talk quickly about that. Just some bad offense look from Southeast Melbourne. I think he had 3 on Wetzel, blocks received. No, 1. And then more. He had 1 on more that was really good, man. And then Mitch Creek just kept going inside, and you're just like, Mitch, like, what are you doing? Like, you just straight into the teeth of the D, flailing, and then it's just like, block. Thank you. Crazy stuff. But a good win. So there was a 42-14 run. They pretty much ended the game. And then it was a double game week, so you kind of think Kings are just, resting a little bit. Did you ever feel like it was getting uncomfortable there, sort of towards the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I thought that maybe that there was definitely some rest lineup in there. It would have been a bigger deficit. Who's that young guy, that development player that just like he's?
Oh yeah,
Homicide is calling him. Yeah, he shot the ball lights out, man.
20. No, what did you have? Oh no, it's Taips. That's why I can't see his name there. I'm like, Cam Oliver's on the. Liafa had 29 points, 10 of 16, 8 of 12 from 3. Jeez.
Just crazy shooting. Just
every time he shot it, you were just like, oh man. And I think he did that in the other game too, where every time he was on the floor shooting threes, you were just like, oh no.
He's a development player. He's a development player, and that's just like, you have picked up the money in that one.
Yeah, but it's a shame that it's kind of happening in the NBL. You know what I mean? So it's like, and you get $90,000 a year.
He'll get a deal. He'll definitely get a decent deal next year.
Just
that's just
looking
phenomenal shooting.
How old is he? Because that hairline screams veteran. that hairline was like late career, but 96. What's that?
25.
Yeah, 25. So yeah, no, it's still quite a development. But he could shoot it, man, and he shot it well against us in the first game he played against them. I'm pretty sure he played really well in that game, and I remember us kind of going, oh, pretty solid off the bench. The other thing too, they were talking about Kyle Adam, only 2 points of 7. They were sort of saying how well he was playing, and I did a tweet where like, yeah, you just throw Casper and Didi on him, and you just swallow him up. Like he doesn't have the physicality at all, and that's basically we just chubbed him out. And Casper's on ball defense, man, for the last like month and a half. It's been like top notch. It's again another shame where you're just like, this season has just been all over the place. What a shame, like Yes. So anything else from this game that we need to talk about? It was a really good performance. One of our best this season, 66% from inside. Ooh, looks like you dropped for a second there, but that's all right. I'll keep going. 44% from 3, and then 75% from the line. We got to the line quite well, which is good. You still there, or are you gone? He's gone. That's all right. I'll keep talking. He's on Copper NBN, so he's probably going to struggle. He might call through in a sec. But we'll stay here. I think this Southeast Melbourne team, obviously, we'll talk about a little bit about how our season's going to go down the rest of this season with Didi being out. It's obviously another huge blow to just the general feel of what this team's doing. But this Southeast Melbourne team, I feel like, is on par with us. It's on the same level, and it's going to be a real sort of struggle, or not struggle, like a real kind of ding dong battle between us two if we're going to stay in this top spot. Because if you look at, I really, looking at the table, just don't know how we're in 4th position. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me at all. He might have had a computer issue, but internet just died. That's right. I'll keep going. I'll tell him just to call me through. You guys might get like the Skype noise come through when he calls me. But just on the table, I'll just talk quickly about the table itself. What are we going on here? Sydney. Let's change this to solo. Yeah. So I'm looking at I'm just bringing up the table here. Testing the stream, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's all right. I haven't changed that in a while, but I want you guys to see what I'm looking at here. The table itself. Why am I looking at this here? This is what we want. Stats, season ladder. Yeah, his connection died. That's funny. That's funny. 2 seasons of that. And he hasn't had one. We haven't had one of those before. So looking at this table at the moment, 12 and 12. Obviously, you know, we're going to lose games over the next few weeks, and we're really going to kind of struggle to stay in this mold unless we start winning the game, like winning games. I think this little pack here, you know, Southeast Melbourne with 11 losses, Kings with 12, Hawks 13, and Bullets 12. Like I still think the Bullets have got, you know, a couple of weeks of just where they win games nonstop. And then even the Hawks, you know, despite them going through a little bit of a lull, I think they have a chance to kind of just spring back into life, which would be really interesting. You guys might hear that coming through. That's all right. You guys probably won't hear that now. We just see he's back now. He's back.
Well, that was fantastic NBN action. I had to hotspot off my 4G phone.
Oh, nice. Going back to the good old days, eh?
Jesus.
I'll just change this back. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully out there you guys are enjoying us going through technical difficulties. I think that's the first time the first time you've ever dropped, like properly dropped. We've had audio issues. We've had all sorts of other stuff. But first time you've actually dropped.
Mate, Sydney, first world.
Just going through, there are some comments here. Sorry, usually the comments come up on the left and I can see them, but now they're coming up in the middle. Thanks, Facebook FBI. Paulie Fox talking about some stuff here. Didi could have gone for 45, but 40 kept taking him out. Yeah, he kind of does that a little bit, eh? He likes to just take people out. Best Didi stoppers, Will Weaver and 40. Yeah, turnovers were pretty bad as well. And yeah, we're going to drop big time in the standings. We'll talk about it. We'll go through that sort of near the end of this podcast when we'll do a preview. Let's talk Taipans now. I'm gonna have to do a bit of editing here, I think, because of you dropping me, just being like, I think he's coming back. I think he might be coming back soon, hopefully. So this Taipans game, a really good start again, where the guys look locked in. It was really a level that we've been, you know, wanting to see this team play all season. The majors go, wow, you know, I think Casper like hit his first 4 threes. Is that right?
Yes, first 3. The 3. Yes.
3 threes or 4? I think it was at least 3.
4. It was
4 in a row,
because then he went to that ridiculous heat check.
Heat check. And it was an airby as well.
Yeah.
So Casper, that's so Casper. But yeah, his night, although he went for 40 and it was like, whoa, Casper going for 40, wow, what a player. I still felt like that was kind of an all-round performance. Like it wasn't just him, you know, coming up with it. Did you feel like that? No? Silence?
Casper, or do you feel like an all-round performance?
Yeah, just the team. Like it didn't feel like one of those games where you're just like, oh my god, he did everything and won the game for him. Like
no, I think offensively he did everything. I think defensively the team operated in a good way. I think they neutralized Jawai, which they haven't been able to do against any in any other game this season, which was good to see.
I don't know about neutralized. I think wrangled is like the right word.
Yeah,
because he got free. Like there was I think in the second or third quarter he kind of got free and hit a couple of buckets in a row and was like, oh no, like
But he's gone for like 16 and 20 for every game. Just kind of mung Geordie. Well, there was that. Who was it? I think Moller was banging with him at one point. Or Kicker was trying to bang with him. He was like,
he bumped somebody like across the court and then laid it in, and it was just like, wow. Imagine having that kind of power, man. That'd be awesome to just bump dudes. But then if you play for the Kings, he'd just have 4 offensive fouls. Dudes would just fall over. Get the soul in there, even though we won games. But Casper's 40, it was iconic. It was fantastic. But I still didn't feel like it was like, he took us, without him, we wouldn't have won that game. Like, I still think there was a real team effort down the stretch of this game. Finding guys, a little misdirection from him. I think he had a couple of drives and layups. He had a couple of shots as well that, I think I texted you, like a couple of those ones where you're just like, here comes Casper, look out. So it was a fantastic. Anyway, take it away. You talk about his night.
Oh man, it was just, he checked some of the most hilariously bad shot takes in, but it was one of those nights. Just like, whatever he wants to do, you can do. I think the nice thing as well is that down the stretch, he kind of went and drived. It wasn't just this, okay, I'm just going to lop up three after three. He actually tried to get to the hoop. And that was good to see. Bit of floater game, bit of mid range, and it was a tit for tat down the end. It was a bit of a silly end to the game. I think the lack of the ability to all these unsportsmanlike fouls, where it's just
Just
some
get
of the
rid of it. Like unsportsmanlike
yeah.
fouls, just gone. Like,
An
we're done.
unsportsmanlike foul is when you hit someone in the head deliberately to stop them from getting to the basket, not a tactical foul to get them to the free throw line to try and put pressure on. Because it kind of wrecked the last 40, 50 seconds of the game. Just like Cairns were running around trying to foul people without fouling them. It was just like, oh, this is just horrible to watch. It's
And
kind of like
then you get the stupid scenario where I think it was Shawnee Bruce. The dude just grabbed him and shoved him, and then they're just like, "We'll take a look at it." No, that wasn't. And you were just like, "What? How was that not an unsportsmanlike foul? Like what?" And then you get that other situation the other day where Jarrell just got hit in the face on the way down, and they're just like, "No, we're not even going to look at it." So I think they need to just get rid of those unsportsmanlike, the tactical style one. They just need to get rid of that. But I thought, we went up 18. I think we were up 18 at one point. And then Cairns in the third quarter just came all the way back, and you were just a little bit like, oh, this is so Sydney, isn't it? But I never really had that feeling of, that's it. We're going to lose this game.
You know why? Machado was good, but he wasn't, hitting circus shots, and Cam Oliver wasn't really, he's hitting a few shots, but it wasn't like, okay, Cam Oliver's in on unstoppable mode here. It was kind of like, who's going to take it to Cairns down the stretch? And I think Casper was just on song, and he kind of put up his probably best performance playing in the purple and gold.
So looking at Oliver, 27 points, 2 of 8 from 3. He's 8 too many 3-pointers.
Yes, it is. This is Sean Long all over again.
And he took 1, and then I think he took 2 more after that in crunch time in that game. And I was just like, yes, keep shooting it. Like, yes, the more you shoot threes, that's, Nartai has just been hot lately. And I'm like, definitely do not let Nartai shoot. And, it was good that he was taking 3-point opportunities away in the crunch time. And then, got in his spaceship and then had to go home. So, escape hatch cam, which is a shame, man. I think he has not had a good season, but I think he kind of sputtered into life in the last couple of weeks. I don't know, it was family reasons. I think they said it wasn't.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't really looked too in depth to it. It still feels like it's going to sound harsh, but it kind of just feels like we're crap. I'm leaving type of thing.
I think that he'll probably get picked up by a big European club. I mean, who would really want to play basketball in Europe right now? It's kind of like if you can play somewhere other than the NBA, you kind of want to play in Australia because you can live your life without worrying. I think he gets picked up by a big club here next season. I think he either goes to a Melbourne or...
Yeah, maybe... I'd like to see him come back when he does come back. And I think it is harsh to kind of go, he's not had a good season. What are they sitting? Go back to their last. So, yeah, it's hard to shake that perception of just like, we're crap, I'm going home, see you later. Like,
yeah,
and he's kind of played like he hasn't helped himself. He's kind of played like that this season. A lot of whinging. I thought it was refreshing in this game that he actually had a game where, he just played hard, made shots, and you didn't see a lot of the whinging that I've watched Cairns fair bit this season, and there's been a lot of whinging, like a lot. Like I should have just been able to just dunk this on uncontested. Like guys are gonna come, like Cams, guys are gonna come and try and defend you. Like you just got to accept that. Like you can't just dunk all over everyone. Like, people aren't gonna get out of the way of you. In the last couple of weeks, like the Jarway Cam Oliver 1-2 game, like it's been like great. I think it was Adelaide they beat the other night, where it was just Jarway like Dime Lord. He was just diming up Cam Oliver, and I was so scared of that. I was just like, oh no, the inside game against Sydney's small bigs. Like, this is going to be awful. And then it just didn't happen. I was like, sweet.
Yeah, they did not exploit the right thing there.
So looking through, Casper's 40.9, obviously, 15 of 26, 8 of 12 from 2, getting inside, 7 of 14 from 3. If he's going to take 14 shots from 3, 50% is a great number to hit. If he's going to do that a little bit more often this season, then yeah, there's no doubt we're going to make the finals. Craig Moller with 8 points. Pretty important contribution. Shawnee Bruce hit a couple of big threes as well, 2 of 6 from 3. Geordie had 4 points, and then Didi had 11, 4 of 9. And then, Kernich Drew came out for a minute and then didn't do anything. And off he went. And then Tommy V, 9 points. 1 of 4 from 3. 3 of 9 on the night. Couple of also some pretty good contributions, I think, from Newley and Kickett without, hammering the box score. I still think that performance the other night against Southeast Melbourne kind of sparked them into life, and they're playing a lot harder, defending better. Brad Newley had 4 rebounds, and then Kickett had 4 rebounds as well, and a block.
Kickett had a block?
The hell?
Jesus.
Wow. What a poor, unfortunate soul that got blocked by Kickett. It was either Duffelmeyer, Jawai, or Machado. My money's on Duffelmeyer or Machado. And then what about Mirko Jeric just coming off the bench and having 4 points and just, barely taking a 3?
Yeah, that was good.
You're just like, what?
Because he can get streaky hot. It's
Yeah.
just, and it's disgusting to watch as well. The banana. He shoots like a banana.
Some of the worst shots, like worse than Casper's worst shots. Those are, and they're some of his best shots too that he takes. Anything else we need to talk about this Cairns game?
No, I think it was just good to get into the top 4 for a period during the season. How many games we've got left? I think that we've got 4 home games and how many away games? Only a couple.
How many? I don't even know. I haven't been able to keep up with what the actual.
I think we've only got 7 or 8 games left.
So there's 5 rounds here that are planned out. It's going to be round 15 this round. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. If it's going to be a 20 round competition, 5 2s are 10, so probably about 10 games. Like if we're going to play 2 a week, 2 a round.
I think looking at 3, I think we've only got 8 left because there's 2 rounds we're only playing single games. So
there you go. Interesting.
Down
So
stretch.
a little stretch. If we can, put together 5 or 6 wins here, it's going to be.
We've got a decent. We've got Melbourne twice. We've got Adelaide, Brisbane. I don't know. I like us against Melbourne for some reason. I think
I don't know why. But now you're without Didi, is Chris Golding's gonna come back and just be like, I'm actually shooting it well now. It's like, damn. Let's do 3, 2, 1, and then we'll do tips. Then we'll actually have a look at what we're gonna do over the next couple of weeks or next month, basically, and we'll talk about what we can do without Didi. So game 1 being the Southeast Melbourne game.
Didi, kick it.
Didi, kick it.
Newley,
Brad Newley. All right, I went Didi, Newley, kick it. And then the Taipans game.
Casper, without a doubt. Emphatic Casper.
Yeah.
Didi. I think defensively he did excellent job. And I'll go through my boy Tommy V1 because why not?
I went Ware, Vodanovic, Didi. There we go. That's 3, 2, 1s for this week. Tips. Let's do tips now really quickly, and then we'll talk rest of the season, what we're going to climb out of this hole. First game, Southeast Melbourne is at home to the Kings. Let me just make sure I'm getting this right. Yeah, so Southeast Melbourne is at home to the Kings on Thursday night. Bounce back.
No, Didi. Southeast Melbourne.
I went Kings. I can't tip against the Kings. They're hot right now. They're hot. New Zealand Breakers at home to the Taipans. They're at the Silver Dome in Tasmania. So
I'm going to go to the Breakers.
Yeah, Breakers. All aboard the Breakers train, man. I've been saying it in the messages to people doing tips. Just like, everyone climb aboard this Breakers train. I think they're going to get hot. Perth at home to the Bullets.
Bullets
over Perth?
Yep.
Away?
Fuck it, why not?
Damn. You're coming off an ordinary week. You need to throw some bombs, throw some grenades and try and make things happen.
I'm getting some grenades in here.
United at home to
it's
36ers.
Opposite week. It's opposite week.
We'll watch you come out with a perfect week, just tipping all jankers, man. United at home to the 36ers?
36ers.
Damn, you really are going off the rails. I went United. Hawks at home to the Kings in the Gong.
Kings, I so want to go to this game.
Yeah, well, maybe we might. What day is it on? Got it here. Saturday night, 8 o'clock. Oh, no. That's bad voodoo for me.
Yeah.
Bullets at home to Southeast Melbourne.
Southeast Melbourne.
Taips at home to the Perth Wildcats. Taips, man, you're just throwing haymakers. New Zealand Breakers at home to 36ers. 36ers, wow. I'm going. So I'm at Perth against the Taipans and then the Breakers. All aboard! Doo-doo. That Breakers train, man. Get on it. I'm telling you. All right, so that is tips for this week. A reminder to everyone that the round starts on Thursday, so get your tips in for Thursday if you're in the tipping comp. Now let's talk the rest of this season. Didi is gone, so we've got to accept that.
We've got a roadmap. Have we got games? A list of games. Let's get a full list of games up.
We've got Southeast Melbourne and then Illawarra this week.
Yep.
Tough week again. I think, Southeast Melbourne, they're big games too. We've got to win those games. And I guess we've got to win against the Hawks too. That's going to be a massive game. Next round, we have United in Melbourne. That's a single game week. Then we got, just while I'm here, I'm just going to go like this. Yeah, there we go. I can show everyone. Sweet. And then round 16, Melbourne in Melbourne on the 2nd.
Yep.
Round 17, we then have the Sydney Kings at home to the 36ers. That's, you got to be thinking if we're flying at any point in this stage, we're going to beat the 36ers.
Yep.
Then Bullets away. Kings at home to the 36ers. Kings away to the Breakers to be confirmed. So I think New Zealand might be at home by then. That'd be very interesting to see if we have to go to New Zealand and play in New Zealand.
Yeah, that's...
Hopefully we do. I'd like to see it. That'd be pretty sweet if New Zealand could get some home games before the playoff starts. Then we play Perth at RAC Arena. So essentially we want to do all the heavy lifting before we kind of get to this last round. Last two rounds, we play Melbourne at home. So Perth away, Melbourne at home, and then the Hawks away, and then Brisbane at home to finish. So essentially in the next 3 weeks, that's when in the next 3 rounds, that's when we're going to have to do the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
We're going to have to beat Southeast Melbourne and the Hawks this week.
Yeah, you really have to beat Southeast Melbourne and the Hawks because Melbourne's far, far away. They're in the top 2. And Brisbane's probably in the bottom. You need to beat those teams, but the most important one is we have to beat the other teams that are coming up, and that's Southeast Melbourne and Hawks. You need to get the wins.
So if we were to beat the Phoenix and then the Hawks, that puts us in huge stead because then essentially we can drop a game against Melbourne. And what are we on 2 wins? And then we can beat the 36ers. We should be beating them. Then beating the Bullets and then beating the 36ers again. Would that put us at 5 wins out of the 8? And then, we can afford to kind of lose against the Breakers, the Wildcats and Melbourne United again, a little bit more down the stretch of that. So yeah, we basically got to get 5 wins out of our next 6, I think, to really, really secure top 4. Because, the Southeast Melbourne and Illawarra games are crucial. So that was pretty good analysis. What was that? I clocked that at like 1:30.
That's it, mate.
What do you reckon about this team going forward?
I tried to look up our roster, but it said error cannot be detected.
Yeah, this roster not found. It was just like a half-filled can of gas. So I've got the stats up here. I don't know how well that'll come through. Let's see if I can zoom this in. Zoom it in. No, I can't zoom it in. There you go. Plus. No. Yep. Yeah, I can zoom it in. Sweet. Casper Ware. So looking at our 3-point shooters, you won't be able to see this, by the way. Looking at our 3-point shooters, Tommy V, 44.8%, Craig Mauler, 44.8%, Jarrell, 44.1%, and DJ, 41.5%. And then there's a bit of a drop off to Newley at 36%, Kickett at 35%, Shawnee B at 35%, Casper at 34%. Didi was shooting at averages. Didi was shooting at 26.4% from 3. Wow. I wonder if that's right. If that's right, yikes.
That's with the 6 of 7 game as well.
Yeah, 24 of 91 on the season. But I think the part of his game that evolved was that drive and break the blitz and initiate. He was really playmaking really well. That's going to have to fall on Shawnee B now. Caspar with no DJ as well. That's huge. Jarrell Martin, who knows what he's going to do. And then, we're going to see a lot more Tommy V, man. If we've got to get some sort of forward. Like, we have to get like a small forward that can play down maybe in the shoot as a shooting guard, like a scoring small forward, surely.
I don't. Yeah. Okay. Where are we getting him from?
I know. the Siebel. Who can we get? Rainbow Ray. Bring Rainbow Ray back.
Yeah, Ray Puft.
Ray Puft. But I think, what do you reckon? Like, what do we actually have to get here if we're going to replace Didi?
I don't think we can with the time frames we have left.
Nah.
There's just because we can't fly someone in from the States. It's three-week turnaround probably.
I don't think we have the import spot either.
No.
So
there's no next star
development
really.
players, fluke signings.
I think you got to see if Lachlan Hutchinson can step up. He's been a development player in the team squad for 2 years. He's got to give us 6 minutes of guard time.
Bring Ray out with the cobwebs. Out of the cobwebs. Paulie Fox? Who shout out who we could rustle up in this team? What about someone from the women's draft? Can we get a draft and stash from the women's draft? Put him in this lineup. Damn, it's bad. Like we're in a situation now where like we may not even be able to replace that player, and if that happens, that's like, yikes.
Yeah, I think maybe we could just take one of the Kansas players because they're not making the finals. Mid-season trial.
Kansas.
So,
I'm just
Mojave
gonna
King.
throw up. Yeah, I'd take Mojave King. That'd solve a lot of problems. I'm just gonna throw up the entire league. You won't be able to see this. I was looking at Scotty Machado's assists. There you go. He is the leading assist getter behind Josh, in front of Josh Giddey and Bryce Cotton at 134. Just looking at games played, I'm going to go all the way to the bottom of the list. And then there's a lot of a lot of direct down here, man. Kearney Stru's played 5 games. There you go. Like, there really isn't any, like, there's no one.
No.
We're going to have to get someone that's not in the league. And we're going to have to get someone that, it's just like, you're going to have to take 12 shots a night. Step up, son. Oh, brutal.
It is.
So what are your predictions for the rest of this season?
Interesting.
Interesting.
My predictions are interesting.
You're going to be watching it with interest?
Yeah, I think I'll be watching this next round with interest. I think once we get to if we get to a point where it's, non-feasible for us to make the play. It's going to be a really big achievement just to make the playoffs. Let's be real here.
For sure.
If we get into 4th spot and we make it, I don't care what we do in the postseason. We made it with the season that we had. Who gives a shit? Well done to the boys. Well done to Adam Ford.
I think it's actually it'll be a really big statement. Oh, Bolden, we forgot to mention. Obligatory. We should have mentioned.
Jonah's off in crypto land, mate. He ain't going nowhere.
The Crypto Kings.
Crypto Kings.
I think just on that 40 piece, because that's actually a really good point. If we were to somehow scrape the finals, you would probably say, "Yep, 40. We're pretty happy with you. We'll give you another couple of seasons." Fair enough.
I'd say you'd give him another season anyway. I think you're
going to give him 2 at the minimum if he somehow makes the finals.
No, I think even if he doesn't make the finals, mate, there's I think what he's done with the evolution of the team. I think in the first few rounds it was very Casper-centric, and then he went, okay, this isn't working. Let's evolve, get some other players involved. He's not afraid to, put it in Yuli's hands at the end of the game. He's not afraid to put it in Tommy V's hands at the end. You know what I mean? Like, there's a little bit different thinking. And, some of his analysis and his breakdown in the post-match interviews, he knows his shit, and he really does research, and that's the most important part. And it's not like the NBA where you can mold your lineup to what you need. It's kind of like, well, we've got 4 dudes out, 4 of our key players.
One guy left. One guy's gone.
One guy left. You got Glover, you got Cooks, you got DJ out. You've got all these, and it's just, you got Didi off. You got Jarrell, who was, a mid-season kind of buy. And it's kind of, it is what it is. You've got a slot. You haven't got the ideal players in the ideal positions. You've got an abundance of power forwards. Moller, Newley, Kickett, Jarrell Martin. You've got more power forwards than players. It's kind of a team of power forwards, really, when you think about it. Maybe Newley can play a bit more of small forward and Moller can play down a bit, but you don't have any guards.
Newley's going to have to get a bigger role now. He's going to have to shoot the three and get to the hole.
Yeah. He might even have to just be an oversized 2 guard at some point. You know what I mean? Like that's so you can't fault 40 for any of it, and still one of the greatest post match interviews. It wasn't even a rant.
Yeah, that's
it was
right.
just
Sorry.
it was a monologue, post match monologue.
I think the 40 piece is very interesting. It's very if we somehow make the finals this year, that's important to kind of go, okay, reward that with next season we actually get some sort of squad together and hope that they don't get injured again. Because I'd like to see that. Like, that's the part I want to see him get judged on. Like, not what this season was a total mess. It's very easy to go into these playoffs with a spot in the playoffs and just go, oh, how great's this? This is fantastic. Give him a 5-year deal. Like, really get high on that. But at the same time, I think it's harsh to go into next season giving him some players to start with. Oh, but I guess you gotta look at the start of the season was a bit average with it before those injuries. But still, I think he's done it. If he makes the finals, he's done enough to kind of get another year where we just go, look, we'll give you one more year. You have a crack. We get, we fill out the squad a little bit more. And then, from the end of next year, we kind of give it a I want to see what this team, does with a fully fit squad and roster. This has just been for a season.
Let me just put this to you. Would you rather Adam Ford or Andrew Gaze?
40, of course.
Right. Then you gave Andrew Gaze 3 seasons. Adam Ford can have 3 seasons.
Yeah. If anyone can have 3 seasons. If Gazy got 3 seasons, 40 can. I think. Look, one of those Gazy seasons was just like, okay, this one is too much. Like, I don't think three of Gaze, you're not going, 3 of Gaze, so anyone else can have 3 bad seasons. I think by that 3rd season, it was just like, enough, man, enough. Like, no, don't do it to us. But yeah, it's a tough, man. It's so tough this season. If we can get players in, which I'm not even sure. Like, are we past the deadline to get guys in?
Yeah, it's not going to happen, mate. We're just going to have to play, or some potentially development players going to get maybe the Banjo Talbot. We're going to do Banjo.
I don't think he's part of our development program, but I think Hutchinson, Galloway, and Woodhill are the 3 development players. More Galloway and Woodhill. They've had to play minutes this season when we've been short, and it's been pretty solid from them. Decent hair game on Galloway as well.
Yes, definitely decent hair game.
So it's. I think the way we've been talking about it is a bit of a sign that this whole situation is just takes the guts out of you. You're just even if we've been playing well this season, we've worked hard this season, we've put together some little things this season, you kind of with the guys going down, you're still just what do you make of this? Who knows what the hell is even going on with 4 guys down? How can you even make heads or tails of any of this? So I think, watch this space over the next couple of months. Hopefully make the finals. Hopefully. All right. I think we'll leave it there for tonight. Thanks everyone out there for watching and for commenting. As always, you can listen to us live on Facebook. We do these live usually on a Monday night. Tonight's a Tuesday, so it might be a Monday or Tuesday every now and then. You can watch it in replay on Facebook and on YouTube as well. We're on Twitter also on the King's Dime. And if you want to listen in audio form, we are also on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, on the Anchor platform. So check that out and subscribe. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review, because that's pretty sweet. Get us out there to more Kings fans. And if there's nothing else, we will see you guys next time
on the King's Dime.